Lead prosecutor, call your first witness.
Your Honors, we are calling to the witness stand our next witness, the last witness for Article 4 threat, Attorney Melvin Matibag, the NBI Director.
Kindly remain standing, Director Matibag. The clerk will kindly administer the oath to the witness. Kindly turn on the mic of the clerk of court.
You, Melvin A. Matibag, do swear that the evidence you shall give in the case now pending between the Philippines and Vice President Cyrus Zimmerman Duterte shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Yes, sir.
Kindly sit down, Director Matibag.
May we
Before
proceed?
the lead prosecutor proceeds with their direct examinations, the chair would like to address the witness regarding certain matters. Director Matibag, the chair would like to remind and admonish you on behalf of the impeachment court to kindly avoid statements pertaining to individual members of this impeachment court. Without prejudice to any investigation you're undertaking, you may do so, but without need of issuing statements that may impinge upon the independence and or integrity of the court or the individual senator judges. And for this reason, for your information as well, Attorney Director Matibag, these statements made by Senators Senator Judge Alan Peter Cayetano and Senator Judge Pia Cayetano last July 15 pertaining to statements made by you and the video presented in the impeachment court shall be referred to the Senate as a legislative body and referred to the appropriate committee, specifically the Rules Committee, for its proper disposition and for the matter to be taken up thereat, and not in this impeachment court. I hope you will hear and understand, Director Matibag, the
Yes, sir.
reminder and the admonition of the chair.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, Director Matibag. Lead prosecutor, the Honorable Luistro, you may proceed with your direct examination.
Your Honor, we are offering the testimony of witness NBI Director, Attorney Melvin Matibag, to prove the following. 1. Siya ang kasalukuyang direktor ng National Bureau of Investigation. 2. Matapos siyang italaga bilang direktor, may binuo siyang special task force para magsagawa ng investigasyon sa patuloy na mga pagbabanta sa buhay ng Pangulo. 3. May karagdagang investigasyon na isinagawa ang Special Task Force hinggil sa mga pagbabantang ginawa sa buhay ng Pangulo kasama ang pagbabanta ng Vice Presidente. 4. Ang pagbanta sa buhay ng Pangulo ay hindi lamang pagbanta sa kanyang buhay, kundi pagbanta sa pambansang seguridad. 5. Ang mga natuklasan at naging resulta ng Special Task Force mula sa karagdagang investigasyon. 6. Kilalanin at patunayan ang mga dokumento kaugnay ng nasabing investigasyon ng NBI. 7. Ang iba pang mga bagay na may kaugnayan at mahalaga sa nagaganap na impeachment trial ng Vice Presidente.
Comments, Your Honor.
Then,
Your Honor, as to the first purpose, we are willing to stipulate, Your Honor, that Attorney Matibag is the current NBI Director. In the interest of expediting the proceedings, no need to propound questions on that. Number two, as to the task force, Your Honor, we would have to object thereto on the basis of them being irrelevant. Your Honor, would just like to manifest for the record that such task force, Your Honor, was not part of the articles of impeachment as well as the impeachment complaint. There was no mention thereof, and this is tantamount to a new information. So, Your Honor, we just like to manifest for the record that the articles of impeachment is akin to a information that is filed in court, and the trials already started, and the prosecution cannot modify such information or articles of impeachment. For such will be a violation of our client's right to due process, particularly her right to be promptly and fully apprised of the exact charge against her. So any new information is irrelevant. Number three, same objection, Your Honor, because the good counsel mentioned karagdagang investigation. So it pertains also to a new information which is irrelevant. Number four, we would have to object because the good counsel used the word banta, which is a conclusion of fact. She mentioned it twice. So we are objecting on the basis of it being conclusions of fact. Number five, as to the special task force, same objection, Your Honor, considering that, again, there was no mention of such new information in the articles of impeachment. Number 6 and 7 are okay, Your Honor.
Would the lead prosecutor care to respond?
We would like to respond, Your Honor.
The lady may proceed.
Your Honor, maliwanag po sa naging banta ng Vice Presidente kaugnay ng November 23, 2024 na video. May kinausap siyang tao kaugnay ng kanyang banta sa buhay ng Presidente, ng First Lady at ng dating Speaker. Later, Your Honor, we will present that this special task force was specifically created for the purpose of furthering the investigation because of the possibility of seeing na hindi po mag-isa ang Vice Presidente sa bantang ito. In other words, Your Honor, the mention of special task force, including its creation at ang karagdagang investigasyon nito, passes the test of relevance. As a matter of fact, this is the very reason why we are presenting Attorney Melvin Matibag, the NBI Director, before the Honorable Impeachment Court. Your Honor, the defense likewise mentioned that special task force was not mentioned in the articles of impeachment. Nais ko pong ibalik ang naging desisyon ng kagalang-galang na impeachment court kahapon, kaugnay ng mga dokumento which pertains to acts and omissions prior to 2022 and acts or omissions which were not specifically mentioned in the articles of impeachment. Ang mahalaga po dito, Your Honor, ay itong mga alegasyon or testimony to be presented ay may kaugnayan o relevant sa article of impeachment. It is not necessary that they be specifically mentioned in the articles of impeachment. Finally, Your Honor, they likewise raised the issue of due process of the respondent. It is very much apparent, Your Honor, since day one of our impeachment trial, the respondent is very well represented by her very much able defense panel. In other words, Your Honor, atin pong ibinibigay ang nararapat na due process sa respondent vice president in as far as this impeachment trial is concerned, kasama na po ang pagtistigo ni NBI Director, kaugnay ng Special Task Force at ang mga naging investigasyon nito.
Just a short rejoinder, Your Honor.
Counsel for respondent may do so before the chair makes a ruling on the offer and the comments to the offer. You may proceed, Attorney Binlon.
Your Honor, considering that the prosecution mentioned dates prior to the appointment of Director Matibag, then we would also add as basis for our objection his lack of personal knowledge.
Noted. Chair will now make a ruling. Chair reminds the lead prosecutor to skip the introduction and preliminary questions with respect to the witness being the current NBI director, having been admitted by the counsel for respondent. Insofar as the phrase banta is concerned, Chair would like to remind the senator judges that that is indeed a conclusion which the prosecutors will seek to prove. For our purposes, tawagin na lamang natin o ituring na lamang natin ang mga pahayag ang binitiwan ng ikalawang Pangulo. But lead prosecutor, kindly let the witness testify and characterize it as such if he will, but it should come from the witness and not from any of the counsel for the parties. As to the task force, the task force was formed on April 16, 2026, after the impeachment complaints have been filed. Although the impeachment complaint was filed before the Senate in May, the impeachment complaints were already filed prior to the formation of the task force. And as a last point, this, if at all, would show persistence, absence or lack of it, which is an element of the crime of grave threats which the prosecution is seeking to prove. Again, not through their statements, but through the witnesses they will be presenting in the person today of Director Matibag. The chair will therefore allow the testimony, and the counsel for the respondent may object at any time with respect to the points he raised, and the chair will rule each time an objection is raised regarding that matter without prejudice. I'm already seeing what Attorney Binloan will do because he's reaching for the mic. Without prejudice to the counsel, of course, making a continuing objection with respect to his observations to the offer, so that we would abbreviate the proceedings and he won't need to object each time, if at all, it is brought up. Would that be correct, Attorney?
Yes, Your Honor, we register our continuing objection and everything subject to cross, Your Honor.
Noted. The lead prosecutor may proceed. Your witness.
Mr. Witness, pakisabi po ang inyong pangalan, edad, at iba pang pagkakakilanlan.
Ako po ay si Attorney Melvin Matibag na kasalukuyang Director ng National Bureau of Investigation. Ang aming pong tanggapan ay may address na 9th floor Philinvest Cyber Zone Building, Diosdado, Macapagal, Pasay City.
Nabanggit mo na ikaw ay isang abogado. Gaano ka na katagal sa nasabing propesyon?
29 years po.
Saan ka nagtapos ng iyong abogasya?
Sa Ateneo Law School po.
Bago ang iyong abogasya, ano ang una mong inaral sa kolehiyo?
Ako po ay nagtapos ng Bachelor of Arts, major in Philosophy sa University of Santo Tomas.
Pagkatapos naman ng abogasya, Mr. Witness, ano ang iyong inaral kung mayroon man?
Nag-aral po ako ng Masters of Law, major in Corporate and Finance Law sa Wayne State University, Detroit, Michigan, USA po.
You are here as NBI Director. Bago ka itinalaga bilang NBI Director, ano ang iyong mga naging trabaho kung mayroon man?
Bago po ako itinalaga na NBA Director, kasalukuyan po ako naglilingkod bilang Dean o Dekano ng Lyceum Alabang College of Law.
Nabanggit mo na ikaw ay dating Dean ng Lyceum College of Law, Alabang. Bukod sa pagiging Dean, ano pa, kung mayroon man, ang iyong naging trabaho bago ang iyong pagkatalaga bilang NBI Director?
Ako po ay nanungkulan na rin sa iba't ibang kapasidad sa ilalim po ng iba't ibang administrasyon. Una-una po rito bilang Director ng Laguna Lake Development Authority sa administrasyon po ni dating Pangulong Gloria Macapagal Arroyo.
Nabanggit mo na ikaw ay naglingkod bilang Director ng Laguna Lake Development Authority panahon ng dating Pangulo, Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. Ano pa, Mr. Witness, kung mayroon man, ang iyong naging trabaho bago ka itinalaga bilang NBI Director?
Sa administrasyon po din ng dating Pangulong Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, ako rin po ay nanungkulan bilang General Manager ng Manila International Airport Authority at sa administrasyon din po ng dating Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte, ako rin po ay nanungkulan sa iba't ibang kapasidad po.
Nabanggit mo na sa ilalim ng administrasyon ni Pangulong Duterte, nanungkulan ka rin sa gobyerno. Ano itong mga posisyon mo sa gobyerno na iyong nabanggit?
Objection, Your Honor. Relevance.
Your Honor, may I
Counsel may
respond?
answer. Counsel may respond
The
rather.
prosecution, Your Honor, is establishing the competence of the witness, the qualification as an official of the government. We are establishing, Your Honor, that he is loyal to his duty regardless of the principal he is serving.
Wind up with your preliminaries, counsel. Witness may answer. Objection overruled.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ako po ay nanungkulan bilang Presidente at CEO ng National Transmission Corporation mula po noong January 2017 hanggang Marso 2022 at pagkatapos doon ako po ay tinalaga bilang Cabinet Secretary po ng dating Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
Kaugnay pa rin ng iyong pagiging NBI Director. Kailan ka itinalaga sa nasabing posisyon?
Ako po ay nai-appoint noong pong February 20 ng kasalukuyang taon po.
Mr. Witness, bilang NBI Director, ano ang iyong mga responsibilidad at kapangyarihan kung iyong nalalaman?
Objection, Your Honor. We already stipulated on this matters. No need for the Director.
Your Honor,
Did you stipulate, counsel, as well as with the powers, responsibilities of
We're willing to stipulate, Your Honor, as what
The
the law
Director?
provides.
Your Honor, regardless of the position of the defense to stipulate on the fact pertaining to the powers and responsibilities of the NBI Director, it is the position of the prosecution that since this is a constitutional process, mahalaga po na marinig ng ating mga iginagalang na senator judges, ganun din ng mga kababayang nanonood kung ano talaga ang responsibilidad at kapangyarihan ng isang NBI Director.
Understood, counsel, but it has been stipulated already by counsel for the respondent. So kindly go straight to the matter at the soonest possible time. You're on a short leash with respect to the preliminaries on the qualifications of the witness. Kindly proceed, ma'am.
Mr. Witness, ano ang iyong mga kapangyarihan at responsibilidad kung iyong nalalaman?
Ang kasama po dito sa aking mga responsibilidad, ang una-una na po, we are the primary investigating authority ng ating pong bansa. Kung kaya po, ito po ay aming mandato na mag-imbestiga sa anumang usapin o mga maaring krimen na pumapasok sa amin. At kasama rin po dito ang pagbabalangkas ng mga polisiya at pagbubuo po ng mga units or division kung kinakailangan at ang pagmamanage din po administratively po ng aming opisina.
Sa mga kapangyarihan at responsibilidad na iyong binanggit, ano ang araw-araw mong ginagampanan kung mayroon man at kung iyong nalalaman?
Ang araw-araw pong pagbabantay at pakikipag-ugnayan sa aming mga ahente dahil po sa araw-araw namin pag-iimbestiga ng iba't iba pong usapin na pumapasok po sa aming ahensya.
Kaugnay pa rin ng mga binanggit mong kapangyarihan at responsibilidad, ano ang pinakamabigat mo na responsibilidad bilang NBI Director kung iyong nalalaman?
Objection, Your Honor. Calls for an opinion.
Witness may answer. I think witness is competent enough to answer that question.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. Ang akin pong hindi lamang po bilang primary investigating agency, kundi ang amin pong primerong ginagawa ay ang pagbabantay para po sa ating mga taong bayan at bantayan din po ng ating konstitusyon ay may patupad at siguraduhin na hindi po nagkakaroon ng kaguluhan at ligalig para ito po ay puksain, habulin at amin pong kung kinakailangan ay kasuhan ang mga taong lumalabag po sa amin pong mandatong binabantayan.
Chair would like to remind the lead prosecutor to go into the meat of our direct examination already. I think we've heard enough of the preliminaries insofar as Director Matibag is concerned. Kindly
We
proceed, ma'am.
Your Honor. Mr. Witness, naririto ka upang tumistigo sa impeachment trial na ito. Ano ang pagkakakilanlan ng respondent sa impeachment trial na ito kung iyong nalalaman?
Malinaw naman po na ang nasasakdal po sa impeachment trial na ito ay ang ating pong Vice Presidente na si Vice President Sara Duterte.
Bukod sa ang respondent ay ang Vice Presidente, ano pa kung mayroon man ang pagkakakilanlan ng respondent sa impeachment trial na ito?
Base po sa aking mandato bilang direktor nang ako po ay pumasok sa aming opisina, lahat po ng mga kasong nakabinbin at mga amin na naipasok sa Department of Justice ay aking pong niribisa at tiningnan upang akin po itong masubaybayan. At isa po sa mga kasong aking nakita rito, ang respondent po rito ay ang ating pong Vice Presidente kung saan po siya ay kinasuhan ng aming Cybercrime Division ng grave threat at inciting to sedition na kasalukuyan po ngayong nakabinbin sa Department of Justice.
Nabanggit mo na ang respondent ay may kasong grave threat at inciting to sedition sa DOJ. Mr. Witness, ano pa kung mayroon man ang pagkakakilanlan ng respondent sa impeachment trial na ito?
Ang ating pong Vice Presidente kasalukuyang ating pong subject sa ating continuing investigation dun po sa pagbabanta at plano na pagpatay po sa ating Pangulo, sa First Lady at sa dati pong Speaker of the House.
Mr. Witness, may binanggit ka na continuing investigation ng NBI. Ano ang iyong ginawa kung mayroon man kaugnay ng ongoing investigation ng NBI na iyong binanggit?
Tayo po ay nagtatag ng tinatawag ko ni Special Task Force po sa pamamagitan ng pag-create po ng isang administrative order kung saan bumalangkas po tayo ng mga miyembro ng aming pong opisina para sila po ang magtuloy ng investigasyon na ito at mag-monitor po ng mga kailangang gawin.
Kaugnay pa rin ng binanggit mong Special Task Force. Ano ang kahalagahan nito sa investigasyon na ginagawa ng National Bureau of Investigation?
Napakahalaga po para sa amin sapagkat from our law enforcement perspective, ang ginawa pong banta ng Vice Presidente ay tinatrato na namin hindi banta kundi isang plano para po sa pagpatay sa ating Pangulo. And that is a threat to the President which we consider also na threat po sa ating national security.
Mr. Witness, anong katunayan mayroon ka? Kaugnay ng iyong binanggit na binuong Special Task Force upang mag-imbestiga sa lahat ng banta sa buhay ng Presidente kasama na ang pagbabanta ng Vice Presidente.
Meron po akong inisyu na Administrative Order number 11 noong April 16 ng kasalukuyang taon po.
At kung ipapakita sa iyo ang kopya ng Administrative Order number 11, ito ba ay makikilala mo?
Opo.
Your Honor, may we request that AO number 11, previously marked as Exhibit P429, be flashed. We likewise request, Your Honor, that Attorney Kyle Kapunan, assisting counsel, be allowed to approach the witness for confirmation of the document.
Assisting counsel for the prosecution may approach, and likewise, assisting counsel for the respondent may approach to confirm and validate the document being shown to the witness. Likewise, the tech, through the clerk of court, is instructed to kindly flash in the screens the document being referred to by the lead prosecutor, the Honorable Luis Tro. Kindly zoom it in, please.
Mr.
Thank you.
Witness,
Your Honor, can we be
Attorney
given time
Binloan
to
is
comment?
recognized.
Your Honor, we manifest for the record, Your Honor, that the document is a photocopy.
So noted. Thus, the lead prosecutor confirmed the observation of the counsel for respondents while we are awaiting, the respondent rather,
Your Honor,
while we are
af-
awaiting for their review of the document.
Your Honor, after the confirmation of the document, the prosecution will be requesting for the transfer of marking to a certified true copy, Your Honor.
At a later time.
Yes, Your Honor.
Noted. Counsel may proceed when she's ready.
Mr. Witness, ipinapakita sa iyo ngayon, may we request the assisting counsel to please show the document to the witness?
Attorney Kapunan, kindly.
Mr. Witness, ipinapakita sa iyo ngayon ang isang dokumento na may pamagat na Administrative Order Number 11. Ano ang kaugnayan nito sa binanggit mo kanina na Administrative Order Number 11 na kung saan nabuo ang Special Task Force?
Ito po yung aking dokumentong binabanggit.
Sa pangalawang pahina ng Administrative Order Number 11, makikita ang isang lagda sa taas ng pangalang Attorney Melvin Matibag. Kaninong lagda ito, Mr. Witness?
Sa akin po.
Your Honor, may we manifest that AO number 11 has been previously marked as Exhibit P429, and we just want to place on record the request for the transfer of marking at a later time to the certified true copy, Your Honor.
Noted.
Kaugnay pa rin ng Administrative Order Number 11, Mr. Witness. Ano ang komposisyon ng Special Task Force kung iyong nalalaman?
Ito po ay binubuo ng iba't ibang division na pinamumunuan po ng aming pong team leader na Deputy Director for Operations at dalawa po na assistant team leader sa pangunguna po ng Assistant Director namin for Investigation at Assistant Director for Intelligence po.
Nabanggit mo ang team leader at assistant team leader ng Special Task Force. Sino naman ang mga miyembro ng Special Task Force kung iyong nalalaman?
Your Honor, hindi po sino kundi ito po ay mga grupo, specific units po. Isa na po rito ang National Capital Region Division namin, ang Cybercrime Division po namin, ang aming pong OCTD, Organized Crime, Transnational Crime Division, ang TID po at ang CFD.
Mr. Witness, nabanggit mo ang National Capital Region Division. Ano ang dahilan at isinama ang National Capital Region Division sa miyembro ng Special Task Force kung iyong nalalaman?
Sapagkat ang pag-iimbestiga po at ang continuing na surveillance ay tungkol sa banta sa kaligtasan po ng ating Pangulo at ang primerong opisina at tirahan po ng ating Pangulo ay nasa National Capital Region, kung kaya naman po ating pong isinama rito ang National Capital Region bilang miyembro po ng Special Task Force na ito.
Mr. Witness, binanggit mo din kanina ang Cybercrime Division. Ano naman ang dahilan kung iyong nalalaman? Bakit ginawang miyembro ng Special Task Force ang Cybercrime Division?
Ang Cybercrime Division po ay kasama dito sa task force na ito sapagkat marami po ngayon na nabanta na pumapasok po sa ating Pangulo sa pamamagitan po paggamit ng social media platform at ang CCD po, sila po yung may karanasan at kaalaman po na sapat para bantayan po ang mga bantang papasok dito sa pang-araw-araw po.
Mr. Witness, binanggit mo din ang Organized Transnational Crime Division. Ano naman ang dahilan at isinama ito sa Special Task Force kung mayroon man?
Hindi naman po lingid sa atin na ang ating Pangulo ay may mga pagkakataon na lumalabas ng ating bansa at nagbabiyahe na kung saan ay ating pa rin pong tungkulin na bantayan ang kanyang seguridad kahit siya ay nasa labas sa ating bansa. At ang ating pong Organized Transnational Crime Division, sila po yung merong ugnayan sa ating pong mga counterparts sa iba't ibang bansa upang ating pong maisiguro ang kaligtasan po ng ating pong Pangulo habang siya ay nasa labas ng ating bansa.
Mr. Witness, kasama sa iyong binanggit ang Technical Intelligence Division. Ano naman ang dahilan at kasama ito sa miyembro ng STF kung mayroon man?
Napaka-importante po ng role ng TID, ng Technical Intelligence Division, sapagkat ang mga banta po na katulad ng pumapasok po sa ating Pangulo ay nangangailangan po ng masusi at malawak na intelligence network. At ang TID po natin, sila po ang may karapatan dito at nagpuproseso ng mga ganito pong gawain.
Bilang huli, Mr. Witness, binanggit mo din ang Digital Forensic Laboratory Division. Ano naman ang dahilan at isinama ito sa miyembro ng Special Task Force?
Importante po ang kanilang role dito sa task force na ito sapagkat lahat po ng mga ebidensya na ating makakalap, lalong-lalo na nakailangan pong idaan sa forensics o pagsusuri na technical, sila po ang dibisyon na maaari pong gumawa ng pagsusuri na ito.
Maraming salamat sa iyong paglilinaw kaugnay ng komposisyon ng Special Task Force. Mr. Witness, anong mga pagkakataon kailangan ng NBI bumuo ng task force kung iyong nalalaman?
Ang pagbuo ng task force ay yung mga immediate po na pangangailangan nating tugunan. Isa po yan. Pangalawa po rito ay kung isa ng malawakan ang isang bagay na kailangan nating tugunan at imbestigahan. At ang task force din po, kaya po ganyan kalawak kung makikita ninyo, ay kung ang nasasakupan po nito ay hindi lamang iisang lugar. At yung pong mga seryosong banta, na katulad ng banta sa ating Pangulo, ganitong task force po ang pakiramdam namin na kinakailangan.
Mr. Witness, balikan ko ang Special Task Force na iyong binuo. Kanina, ibinahagi mo ang komposisyon nito. Ano ang iyong partisipasyon bilang NBI Director kung meron man sa investigasyon ng Special Task Force?
Nakasad po dyan sa administrative order na yan na ang patuloy na pakikipag-ugnayan po sa Office ng Director, patuloy na pag-uulat kung ano man po ang kanilang nakikita o namomonitor, at lalong-lalo na po kung may specific po na kailangan kaagad matugunan, dapat pong ipaalam sa opisina po ng Office ng Director.
Balikan natin ang Special Task Force na binuo sa ilalim ng AO number 11, Mr. Witness. Ano ang nagtulak sa'yo kung mayroon man upang buuin ang Special Task Force na ito?
Ang akin na po nabanggit, ang malinaw na banta at planong pagpatay po sa ating Pangulo na para sa amin po sa law enforcement, ito ay nag-transcend na sa banta po sa ating national security. Sapagkat anuman pong banta sa ating Pangulo ay banta sa seguridad ng ating bansa. Sapagkat ito'y magdudulot ng kaguluhan, ng ligalig at destabilisasyon po sa ating pong gobyerno at sa ating pong bansa.
Nabanggit mo na ang banta sa buhay ng Pangulo ay banta na rin sa national security. Ano pa, Mr. Witness, kung mayroon man ang nagtulak sa'yo upang buuin ang Special Task Force na ito?
May mga pangyayari po na atin pong nasaksihan na nagpatunay na ang banta ay seryoso. Katunayan po, ang aming investigasyon ngayon ay tumawid na sa hindi banta, kundi isang plano talaga na patayin po ang ating Pangulo ng Pilipinas. Sapagkat doon po sa ating mga inobserbahan na tinatawag dating open source intel, manilaw po roon ng ating Vice Presidente, sinabi mismo na siya ay kumausap na ng papatay at pumayag yung papatay na yan sa ating Pangulo ng Pilipinas.
Mr. Witness, bukod sa iyong nabanggit kung saan may kinausap ang Vice Presidente na papatay sa Pangulo, ano pa kung mayroon man ang dahilan o nagtulak sa'yo upang buuin ang Special Task Force?
Kung makikita po ninyo doon sa whereas clauses ng ng Administrative Order 11. Ang nag-isa pong nagpatibay rito ay yung aming napanood na live broadcast po ng isang rally na tinatawag na Rage Coalition. If I remember it correctly, it's April 12 na nagsasalita ang mayor ng Davao City na si Mayor Sebastian Basti Duterte na sinabi niya na isang ulo lang naman ang kailangan namin at yan ay ang ulo ni Bongbong Marcos. Yan po ay aming isinama sa aming factor upang buuin po itong ating Administrative Order number 11.
May nabanggit ka na Rage Coalition Rally noong April 12, 2026. Ano itong insidenteng ito, Mr.
Objection, Your
Witness?
Honor, relevance. We ask for the relevance, Your Honor.
Part of the witness's narration, counsel, you're on a short leash again, kindly connected to this case.
Your Honor, this
Witness may answer.
question...
Dito po sa rally na ito ay nakita natin doon pa lang pa sa pangalan na sinasabing rage, ito po ay may interpretasyon base sa aming law enforcement experience na pag sinabing rage, galit, poot. At ang mga personalidad po na dumalo rito ay makikita nating mga personalidad na kilalang tumutuligsa at naglalabas ng destabilisasyon po sa atin pong gobyerno ngayon. Makikita po natin ang presence ng iba't ibang personalities dyan na consistent na nagdudulot ng ligalig po sa atin pong bansa.
Mr. Witness, kung ipapakita sa iyo itong videong ito ba'y makikilala mo?
Opo.
Anong partikular na bahagi ng videong ito ang tumutukoy sa iyong sinabi kung saan may binanggit si Mayor Sebastian Duterte?
Mr. President, we be allowed
Objection,
to
Your
check
Honor.
on the timestamp.
Let's listen to the counsel's objection first. Attorney Vinluan, what is your objection?
Again, irrelevant, Your Honor.
Same ruling. Counsel, go to it directly, and I hope you will connect and make the connection between this video and the matter at hand. Yes, Director Matibag, you may proceed to open the US. Are you referring to your notes, rather?
Opo, yung po aking investigation.
You
note
may
po,
refer to your notes,
kung saan
Director
po
Matibag.
nakasulat ang timestamp nung video na akin po binabanggit.
Your Honor, may we be allowed also to peruse
Counsel
that-
for assisting counsel for the respondent may look at the document being reviewed by the witness. Likewise, should the prosecutor wish to do so, assisting counsel for the prosecutor may also stand up and accompany assisting counsel for the defense. You may proceed, Director Matibag, to answer.
Yan po ay nasa timestamp 2:34:35 to 2:34:43.
Your Honor, we are requesting that the video of Mayor Sebastian Duterte during the Rage Coalition on April 12, 2026, which has been previously marked as P430, particularly timestamp 2:34:35 to 2:34:43, be flashed, Your Honor.
The tech is directed to kindly play the timestamps mentioned. May I request assisting counsel from the defense to kindly witness the breaking. Is the USB sealed, counsel? Has
I
the
believe,
seal
Your
been
Honor.
broken? Witness is instructed to break the seal while being witnessed by assisting counsel for both parties before it is presented to the tech for it to be played.
Ayaw. Ayan.
While the witness is breaking the seal and giving it rather to the counsel for the prosecutor and assisting counsel for the respondent, Chair would like to make a manifestation with respect to the proceedings. Earlier, the Chair intimated to some senator judges, as far as practicable, to make their interjections and interventions after the party shall have examined the witness, both direct, cross, redirect, and recross, if any, unless the matter is of urgent, administrative, or procedural concern, in which case it may be brought up even before the examination of the witness by the parties. But as far as practicable, let us allow the parties to finish the examination of the witnesses by themselves, because this is a this is more of a trial really than merely seeking clarificatory questions when the counsels can elicit that from the witness anyway. Yes, are we ready to play the video?
Tama na yan. That's okay. Isang ulo lang naman ang kailangan namin. Ang ulo ni Bongbong Marcos!
Mr. Witness, napanood mo ang video. Ano ang kaugnayan ng video na ito sa insidente ng Rage Coalition na tinukoy mo kanina?
Yan po yung aking tinutukoy na video.
Ano ang partikular na sinabi ni Mayor Sebastian Duterte sa nasabing insidente kung iyong naaalala?
Sinabi po niya na isang ulo lang naman ang kailangan namin, ang ulo ni Bongbong Marcos.
Mr. Witness, ano ang kahalagahan ng insidenteng ito sa Rage Coalition sa investigasyon na ginagawa ng Special Task Force kaugnay ng banta ng Vice Presidente sa buhay ng Presidente?
Objection, Your Honor. Up to now, the prosecution has not established the relevance of these incidents to the matter at hand, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I'm
We're
in the
objecting on the basis
process.
of irrelevance, Your Honor.
I'm in the process of establishing the relevance already, Your Honor.
Counsel, kindly do so as best you can with the shortest possible time. I will allow it.
Yung pong video na yan ay amin pong naikumpara sa mga naging pahayag ng ating Vice Presidente na kung saan meron din po kaming bidyong binalikan na ang ating Vice Presidente ay nagre-refer din po sa pagtanggal ng ulo ng ating pong Presidente. Kung kaya't nakita namin po ang pagkakahambing ng statement po ng ating pong Mayor at ng Vice President Sara Duterte.
Mr. Witness, binanggit mo ang isang insidente kung saan sinabi ng Vice Presidente gusto tanggalin ang ulo ng Presidente. Ano itong insidenteng ito kung iyong nalalaman?
Sa aking pong recollection sa pag-iimbestiga, ito po yung kanyang press conference noong October 18 ng 2024 kung saan sinabi niya, gusto kong tanggalin ang ulo niya ba? At sinabi rin po niya nga, imagine cutting his head. So yan po ang binabanggit ko na video.
Kaugnay ng sinabi niya na gusto ko tanggalin yung ulo niya ba? Anong partikular na bahagi ng binanggit mo na video ang tumutukoy sa sinabing ito ng Vice Presidente?
Mr. Presiding Officer, respectfully, with your permission, for the timestamp, I want to refer to my
Witness
notes.
is allowed to refer to his notes
Salamat
with the
po.
assistance and within the view of the counsel, assisting counsel for the respondent and the prosecution if they so desire.
Your Honor, can we ask permission to scan the whole notebook, Your Honor? Or at least the salient portions of the notebook, Your Honor.
To look at it, to scan it, to see that if baka may mga nakasulat na iba dyan na wala nang kinalaman. Just to confirm that it is indeed his notes with respect. What is the book you are referring to or notebook you're referring to, Attorney Matibag?
Mr. Presiding Officer, actually, diary ko po ito at saka notes eh. Combination. So kung makikita naman po, mula pa noon, iba't iba pong nakasulat dito. May mga personal po, may mga usapin. Ito lamang pong notes ko na to, nakatuon dun sa date kung saan po nagkaroon na ng investigation po yung Administrative Order number 11.
Then just the salient portions, Your Honor.
Your Honor, just for the record, we would like to invoke the right of the witness to refer to his notes because that note pertains to investigation notes which were prepared, done, written at the time of the investigation, Your Honor. That is to refresh his memory, Your Honor.
No, the presiding officer already allowed it. Counsel for the respondent, your assisting counsel is there. Without necessarily scanning the whole notebook which might contain other confidential or perhaps personal information, he may observe what the witness is referring to and you may make your observations known to the record should he observe something out of the ordinary. Witness may answer.
Ang timestamp po dun sa sinabi kong gusto kong tanggalin yung ulo niya ba is from 135.57 to 136.10 po.
Your Honor, may we request that the video of the Vice President on October 18, 2024, during her press conference, previously marked as P411, particularly timestamp 135.57 to 136.10, be played, Your Honor.
Has the USB seal been broken by the witness? If not, witness is instructed to kindly break the seal of the marked evidence in full view of the assisting counsels for the parties. Thereafter, for the USB to be brought to the tech booth, and the clerk of court is instructed to have it played with respect to the identified timestamps of Director Matibag.
Gusto ko tanggalin yung ulo niya ba?
Mr. Witness,
Toxic
napanood mo ang video.
The video is still playing, I believe, lead prosecutor. Unless you want it cut already.
Okay. Yung times.
It may be cut, Your Honor.
I'm sorry? Do you
It may
want?
be cut, Your Honor.
Okay.
The timestamp is only 135.57 to 136.10. Mr. Witness, napanood mo ang video? Ano ang kaugnayan nito sa insidenteng tinukoy mo kanina kung saan sinabi ng Vice Presidente, gusto kong tanggalin ang ulo niya ba?
That is the same video that I was referring to.
Kanina, Mr. Witness, binanggit mo din na may sinabi ang Vice Presidente, I imagine myself cutting his head. Anong partikular na bahagi naman ng video na iyong tinukoy ang tumutukoy sa sinabing ito ng Vice Presidente kung iyong nalalaman?
Again, Mr. Presiding Officer may be allowed to look for the
Witness may do so.
Thank you po. Timestamp 136.52 po to timestamp 136.58.
Your Honor, may we request that the same video be played, particularly timestamp 136.52 to 136.58.
Pertaining to the same exhibit, counsel.
Yes, Your Honor. Same exhibit P411.
Tech is instructed through the clerk of court to kindly play the video.
Imagine myself cutting his head.
Mr. Witness, napanood mo ang video. Ano ang kaugnayan nito sa insidenteng tinukoy mo kanina kung saan sinabi ng Vice Presidente, I imagine myself cutting his head.
Yan din po yung video ang aking tinutukoy.
Mr. Witness, kanina ay binanggit mo ang insidente ng Mayor Sebastian Duterte. Kaninong ulo ang kailangan nila kung iyong nalalaman?
Objection asked and answered, Your Honor.
Asked and answered. Move on, counsel.
Binanggit mo din ang video ni Vice President Sara Duterte. Mr. Witness, kaninong ulo ang gustong tanggalin?
Objection asked and answered, Your Honor.
Move on, counsel. Asked and answered. The court understands and knows who said the Vice President was referring to in that video.
Thank you, Your Honor. We will proceed. Ano ang obserbasyon mo dito sa video ni Mayor Sebastian Duterte at sa video ni Vice President Sara Duterte kaugnay ng investigasyon ng Special Task Force kung mayroon man.
Objection vague, Your Honor. Ano ang obserbasyon mo?
Kindly be more specific, counsel. Although the
Miss-
witness is competent, kindly be more specific so that the witness can more intelligently answer the question.
Mr. Witness, anong koneksyon, kung mayroon man, ang video ni Mayor Sebastian Duterte at ang video ni Vice President Sara Duterte sa kasalukuyang investigasyon ng Special Task Force?
Objection,
kung
Your
mayroon
Honor.
man
Objection,
at
Your
kung
Honor.
iyong nalalaman.
Objection, Your Honor, still vague and as unanswered.
Witness may answer if he knows, so that we can move on. Director Matibag, kindly respond.
Salamat po. Kapansin-pansin po na makikita natin na nanggagaling sa isang pamilya ang pagbabanta sa ating Pangulo at parehas na nag-refer sa ulo ng Pangulo. Kung kaya naman, iniisip po ba namin kung meron bang kasabwat o may sabwatan sa pangyayaring ito, sapagkat gaya po ng aking binanggit na noong November 23, binanggit po ng ating Presidente na meron na siyang kinausap para pumatay sa ating Pangulo at pumayag siya. Kaya ito po ang amin pong tinututukan sa task force na amin pong itinatag.
Objection, Your Honor. We would have to object as to the answer being non-responsive, and we would like to move, Your Honor, that it be expunged from the record.
Your Honor, the witness has answered already, and that should form part of the transcript of our trial today.
Then we move to strike it off, Your Honor.
The objection is overruled and the motion to strike is denied. Let it remain in the records for the appreciation of the senator judges as to the weight they will give that particular part of the witness's testimony.
We will submit, Your Honor.
Mr. Witness, binanggit
Councilman,
mo
proceed.
kanina na may kinausap ng tao ang Vice Presidente. Ano ang kahalagahan nito sa inyong investigasyon sa Special Task Force, kung mayroon man?
Sapagkat ito po, yung amin mismong tinitingnan, sapagkat ang tingin nga po namin dito, that the threat is serious, active, and continuing doon po sa banta sa ating Presidente. At dahil ito ay seryoso, aktibo, at patuloy na umiiral, ay nagiging banta na rin po sa ating pambansang seguridad. Sapagkat anuman pong banta sa seguridad ng ating Pangulo ay banta po sa ating national security.
Mr. Witness, ano ang inyong obserbasyon, kung mayroon man, doon sa sinabi ng Vice Presidente na mayroon na siyang kinausap na tao?
Objection vague, Your Honor.
Your Honor, the witness is very much competent. Please allow him to answer the question.
Objection overruled. Witness may answer. Kindly move on, counsel. I think I know where you're getting at, but kindly move on toward your point. Witness may answer.
Ang obserbasyon po namin dito ay hindi na ito isang banta, kundi isang plano. Sapagkat ang tingin po namin dito ay inianunsyo ng ating Vice Presidente ang kanyang planong pagpatay sa Pangulo ng Pilipinas at mga nabanggit pa ang kanyang gustong ipapatay doon po sa kanyang pagbabanggit sa kanyang press conference.
Kanina, Mr. Witness, binanggit mo ang investigasyon ng NBI noong November 2024. Ano ang pagkakaiba, kung mayroon man, ng investigasyon ng NBI noong November 2024 sa kasalukuyang investigasyon ng Special Task Force na nagumpisa noong Abril 2026?
Malaki po ang pagkakaiba. Yung investigasyon po na natapos na ginawa noong November 24 na nag-iimbestiga doon po sa grave threat at sa inciting to sedition, ito po ay ordinaryong krimen na iniimbestigahan na sa ngayon po ay nakabinbinma sa Department of Justice para sa kanilang resolusyon. Pero ang amin pong iniimbestigahan ay sinuulit ko nga po, the serious, active, and continuing threat to the life of the President which already transcend to a national security issue. Sapagkat malinaw po na hindi na ito banta, kundi isang plano na patayin ang Pangulo ng Pilipinas.
With the permission of the Council of the Parties, Chair would like to clarify for the record and for the Senator judges that the investigation conducted by the NBI in November of 2025 the witness was not yet the director at that time, but he can testify as to the fact that the agency he now heads conducted the investigation, but not as to the truth of the investigations conducted at that time, but as to the fact that investigations were conducted only. You may proceed, counsel.
Mr. Witness, ano ang dahilan bakit kasama ang video ni Mayor Sebastian Duterte sa inyong sinasabi ngayon na ang bantang ito ay banta na sa national security kung mayroon man?
Objection asked and answered, Your Honor.
Asked and answered, counsel. Move on.
Your Honor, as a matter of fact, we haven't asked that question and the witness is supposed to explain the reasons why the video was actually considered in their observation that this is a threat to national security.
I believe the witness already answered that any threat to the president is a threat to national security, to the national security of the country. And earlier, the counsel already asked the relationship of the video to that statement of the witness, which the chair allowed. We're
Okay.
already there, counsel. Please move on.
Bilang karagdagan, Mr. Witness, sa iyong binanggit na issue ng national security, kaugnay ng video ni Mayor Sebastian Duterte, ano pa ang dahilan, kung mayroon man, kung bakit isinama siya sa pagsusuri ng Special Task Force?
Sapagkat dito lang nga po na makikita ng naging pagbabanta ng ating Vice President ay nagkaroon po ng tinatawag natin na epekto. It is a kinetic force na kung saan yung mga nakarinig ng kanyang pagbabanta ay gumagaya na rin at nagbabanta. Lalong-lalo na sila ay nabibilang sa isang pamilya. That is the very purpose of the task force, to monitor all those threats na lumalabas po ngayon at sa araw-araw nga meron po tayong nakikitang threat sa social media, sa mga pahayag po during the mga rallies, ay tuloy-tuloy po nabanta sa ating pong Pangulo na umaabot na po na banta sa ating national security.
Binanggit mo ang kinetic force. Anong ibig sabihin nito, Mr. Witness?
Na yung kanila pong aksyon ay nagkakaroon po ng epekto para kumilos sa mga nakakarinig, ang kanilang mga supporter, upang maghasik po ng ligalig at kaguluhan po sa ating pong bansa at hindi na nirirespeto ang ating pong konstitusyon at wala na rin pong pagtingin sa ating democratic process.
Ano pa ang dahilan kung meron man? Bakit isinama sa pagsusuri ang video ni Mayor Sebastian Duterte kaugnay ng Rage Coalition Rally?
Yung
Objection
presensya,
asked and answered, Your Honor.
Witness may answer.
yung proseso po namin na yan, doon po namin nakita na sinasabi ko nga, yung mga participants dito, yung po mga kilala na mga tao na nagdudulot ng ligalig at pagtutol sa demokrasya po natin. At nandiron din po yung broadcast na yan, napakarami pong naabot na tao, nasa 600,000 plus po yung live broadcast niyan. Doon na po papasok yung tinatawag ko nga kanina na sinabi kong kinetic force na maaaring magkaroon po ng reaksyon ng mga taong nanonood na ito na hindi po maganda at makagugulo po sa pag-promote po natin ng law and order na primero po nagawain po dapat ng National Bureau of Investigation.
Binanggit mo na may mga kilalang personalidad na nakibahagi sa Rage Coalition Rally. Sino-sino itong mga ito?
Objection, Your Honor, irrelevant.
Witness may answer.
Makita po natin doon, may mga senador din po na nandoon. Nandoon din po si Mike Defensor at nandoon po ang mga haligi po ng PDP Laban na akin po mga kakilala. Nandoon din po ang mga iba't ibang leader sa iba't ibang rehiyon na akin na pong nakasama noon nung ako'y miyembro pa ng PDP Laban.
Mr. Witness, ano ang ibig sabihin ng rage kung iyong nalalaman?
Objection, Your Honor, irrelevant.
I think counsel has already made the connection between the rage, the statements of Mayor Baste, and the statements of the respondent. Witness may answer.
Sa Tagalog po niyan ay galit o puot. Yun po.
Wala pong acronym yon, Director Matibag.
Hindi po kasi tumutugma doon sa acronym nila dahil yung acronym nila Reform Alliance for Good Governance. So hindi po RAGE. So medyo malayo po.
May proceed, Your Honor.
Counsel may proceed.
Nabanggit mo din, Mr. Witness, na maraming nanood ng videong ito. Ilan ang nanood ng videong ito kung iyong nalalaman?
Sa live broadcast po, lumabas po na nasa 600,000.
At ano ang kahalagahan na 691,000 ang nanood sa live broadcast ng videong ito kung mayroon man?
Again, ganoon na po kalawak yung nakikita natin na resulta ng pag-asik po ng ligalik po at pagbabanta po sa kayusan, pati na rin po sa seguridad ng ating Pangulo.
Mr. Witness, kanina binanggit mo ang pagkakaiba ng naunang investigasyon ng NBI sa kasalukuyang investigasyon ng Special Task Force ng NBI. Ngayon, ano naman ang ginawa ng NBI sa pagitan ng unang investigasyon kung saan na-file ang kasong grave threat at inciting to sedition sa DOJ, February 2025, sa kasalukuyang investigasyon ng Special Task Force na inumpisahan nung buuin ang STF April 2026, kung mayroon man.
Ang sa pagka-alam
Counsel,
ko po,
you mean April 16, 2026. That's the, you're referring to AO 11.
Yes, Your Honor.
Witness may answer.
dun po base po sa tanong ng mula February 25, 2025, ako po ay hindi pa NBI noon, subalit nung ako po ay nag-assume nung February 20, kasama po sa ating pinag-aralan yan at alam naman po natin na ang mandato ng NBI ay ang patuloy na bantayan ng seguridad ng ating mga opisyalis at siguraduhin na may law and order. So ako po na-appraise naman na tuloy-tuloy ang mga monitoring at consultation po at surveillance na ginagawa ng iba't ibang unit noon. Ngayon, nung ako naman po ay pumasok bilang NBI Director at atin pong pinag-aralan yung mga kaso, noong April 16 nga po, itinatag na po natin ang task force na ito upang po matutukan ang mga issue na akin na nga pong nabanggit.
Mr. Witness, maraming salamat sa iyong paglilinaw, kaugnay ng nauna at ng kasalukuyang investigasyon ng NBI. Kaugnay pa rin ng Special Task Force, ano ang iyong naging direktiba kung mayroon man? Kaugnay ng video ni Mayor Sebastian Duterte noong April 12, 2026.
Akin pong ipinag-utos to the task force na may authenticate at may preserve itong video ito sapagkat amin pong iniisip na ito'y magiging material sa amin pong pag-iimbestiga at sa darating po na panahon na amin po itong gagamitin.
Mr. Witness, sino ang iyong inutusan upang ma-preserve at ma-authenticate ang video ni Mayor Sebastian Duterte na tinukoy mo?
Ito po ay aming naitoka kay Agent Edgar Apolonio po ng Cybercrime Division po.
Ano naman ang iyong patunay na ang videong ito ay na-preserve at na-authenticate ni Agent Edgar Apolonio kung mayroon man?
Ako po ay nakakuha ng kopya ng affidavit of authentication na ipinasa po sa aking tanggapan at akin po itong nahawakan po.
Your Honor, we are requesting that affidavit of authentication of Edgar Apolonio, previously marked as Exhibit P431, be flashed. Likewise, Your Honor, we're requesting that we allow assisting counsel to present the document to the witness for confirmation. Mr. Witness, we are presenting to you a document entitled Affidavit of Authentication. Ano ang kaugnayan nito sa Affidavit of Authentication ni Agent Edgar Apolonio na tinukoy mo kanina?
Ito po ang affidavit of authentication na aking pong binabanggit.
We manifest, Your Honor, that the same has been previously marked as Exhibit P431. Sa pahina 2, makikita isang lagda sa ibabaw ng pangalang Agent Edgar Apolonio. Mr. Witness, kaninong lagda iyan kung iyong nalalaman?
Kay Agent Edgar Apolonio po.
Mr. Witness, paano mo nalaman na ang lagdang iyan ay lagda ni Agent Edgar Apolonio?
Noong po ito'y sinumite sa aking opisina, siya po ay aking ipinatawag at tinanong ko kung siya ang gumawa at kung lagda niya po ito. Bukod po doon ay marami na po akong naiutos na ipa-authenticate sa kanya at iba pang dokumento na siya po ang lumalagda, kung saan nagkaroon na po ako ng familiarity doon sa kanya pong mga lagda.
Maraming salamat sa iyong paglilinaw. Ngayon ay puntahan natin ang investigasyon ng Special Task Force sa banta ng Vice Presidente sa buhay ng Presidente. Ano ang mga ginamit niyong batayan? Kung mayroon man sa inyong pag-iimbestiga sa Special Task Force sa banta ng Vice Presidente sa buhay ng Presidente.
Consistent po sa ginagamit po ng Protective Intelligence Methodology ng Secret Service ng Amerika. Then po sa tinatawag natin na if there is a threat to unknown personality, meron po silang mga pamantayan at doon din po namin ibinasa itong pamantayan na ito. 5 po ito na pamantayan namin pong ginamit.
Mr. Witness, binanggit mo na meron kayong ginamit na 5 pamantayan. Ano-ano itong mga 5 pamantayan na binanggit mo?
Una na po rito yung pattern of violence po.
Bukod sa pattern of violence, ano pa kung mayroon pa?
Yung pong gravity at seriousness po ng isa pong pangyayari.
Anong sunod dito kung meron pa?
Yung pong identity and identifying characteristic po ng involved po doon sa pangyayari.
Bukod sa identity, ano pa, Mr. Witness, kung mayroon man?
Ang isa po rito ay yung kakayanan po at kapasidad po ng nabanggit po na subject po.
At bukod sa 4 na iyong nabanggit, ano pa ang inyong ginamit na batayan kaugnay ng investigasyon na ito?
Yung pong tinatawag na motive o motibo at intent po ng personality po.
Mr. Witness, balikan natin ang pattern of violence na una mong binanggit kanina. Ano ang inyong sinuri, kung mayroon man, kaugnay ng pattern of violence ng Vice Presidente?
Sa tulong po ng amin pong Special Task Force ay amin pong binalikan ang mga pangyayari na yan naman po ay lumabas na tinatawag namin sa media na mga open source intel namin. At doon po nakita namin yung isang event nung mayor pa po ang ating Vice President Sara Duterte na meron pong isang sheriff na gustong gawin ang kanyang tungkulin na atas po ng legal na atas ng korte na magpatupad po ng demolition order. Subalit hindi po ito nagustuhan ng noon ay mayor at kay Vice Presidente, kung saan ay tinawag po niya yung sheriff at pinagsusuntok po sa mukha itong sheriff na ito.
Mr. Witness, binanggit mo ang isang insidente ng sheriff na pinagsusuntok sa mukha. May ipapakita ako sa iyong video.
Noong July 2011, habang nakaupong mayor ng Davao City, sinapak ni Vice President Sara Duterte ang isang court sheriff.
Ito ba ang insidenteng tinutukoy mo?
Tama po, yan po.
Bukod sa insidente ng sheriff na sinuntok ng Vice Presidente, ano pa kung mayroon man ang inyong sinuri kaugnay ng pattern of violence ng Vice Presidente?
As part of our investigation, kami po ay nakakakuha ng mga dokumento related po dito sa aming inimbestigan kung saan we got hold of a affidavit of ito pong dating police ni si Arturo Las Canas na self-confessed member ng DDS na kung saan doon po sa kanyang affidavit na yan ay atin pong nakita at inilalarawan po at sinasabi nitong ni Arturo Las Cañas na ang Vice Presidente mismo ay kasama doon sa Oplan Tokhang, isa sa mga arkitekto ng Oplan Tokhang. At dito rin po niya sinabi na instead na barilin at patayin para hindi nalalaman ng media, ay kidnapin na lamang yung mga subject po, mga shabu users o kaya yung pong ibang gumagawa ng krimen o nagtitinda ng droga at ibaw na lang po sa isang quarry. Na kung saan natagpuan po later nitong Laod Quarry na mayroon pong mga biktima ng extrajudicial killings.
Mr. Witness, nabanggit mo ang affidavit ni Arturo Las Cañas. Nasaan ang affidavit na tinutukoy mo?
Objection, Your Honor. May we know the relevance of all these questions?
Your Honor, we're establishing the pattern of violence. And this is very much relevant.
Witness may answer.
Sa pagkakalam ko po, ang affidavit na ito ay nakasumito po sa International Criminal Court na sasalukuyan po dumidinig ng kaso ng extrajudicial killings po.
Kaugnay pa rin ng affidavit of Arturo Las Cañas. Nasaan ang kopya nito kung mayroon ka man?
Meron po
Objection, Your Honor. The witness is not competent to provide an answer on an affidavit that he did not execute.
Your Honor, may I respond?
Lead counsel may respond.
Your Honor, this affidavit of Arturo Las Cañas can be considered as a declaration against interest. He's saying in the affidavit na siya ay hitman, na siya ay bahagi ng Davao Death Squad. And under the rules, Your Honor, this may be considered also even with respect to third party. And in this particular case, Your Honor, the Vice President, the respondent, is the third party.
Just a rejoinder, Your Honor.
Counsel for the respondent.
Then we would have to object to that, Your Honor, because it will be Mr. Las Cañas, if at all, who has the personal knowledge. We're already going into the contents of such affidavit, and the witness is incompetent to testify on that.
Chair will make a ruling. It is of no moment that it is a declaration against interest. Again, it is not an exception to the hearsay rule. It's certainly not a declaration against the interest of the witness. However, the court will allow it as part of the testimony and narration only of the witness, not as to the truth of the allegations of fact contained in the affidavit of Las Cañas, just as to the fact that the affidavit went through the office of the NBI director, that he knows of the affidavit, but certainly for the information likewise of the senator judges, not as to the truth of the allegations stated in the Las Cañas affidavit. Witness may answer.
Your Honor, we will submit, but we register continuing objection.
The continuing objection of the counsel for respondent is duly noted and entered into the records.
Mr. Witness, kaugnay pa rin ng affidavit ni Arturo Las Cañas. Nasaan ang kopya ng affidavit na ito?
meron po akong CP.
Counsel, witness already answered. He said it is in the ICC, I believe.
Your Honor, I am pertaining to his actual copy.
You may proceed, counsel. Witness may answer.
Nandito po sa akin, dala-dala ko po yung kopya ng affidavit.
Your Honor, may we allow the witness to present his own copy?
Witness is allowed to produce a copy he is mentioning, is referring to rather in his testimony. For the record, assisting counsel for the respondent as well as assisting counsel for the prosecutors are viewing the document produced by the witness.
Your Honor, just a comment.
Counsel for the respondents recognized.
Your Honor, it appears that this document has not been marked during the pretrial conference.
Your
so
Honor, may I respond to that?
not yet done with my manifestation.
Let the counsel for respondent finish, counsel.
So in other words, may we request, Your Honor, that we be given a copy of such document as well for our perusal.
The prosecutor is so instructed to kindly furnish a copy if indeed this document has not yet been marked.
Your Honor, may I respond to that?
Counsel may respond.
The affidavit of Arturo Las Cañas has been previously marked as P-2-10-1-W, Your Honor, for the prosecution.
Then I stand corrected, Your Honor, but can we still request for a copy?
Nevertheless, kindly give the counsel for respondents a copy.
We submit, Your Honor.
Counsels rather for respondent a copy. Thank you, counsel.
But we make the manifestation, Your Honor, that such
Counsel may proceed to make a manifestation.
that such exhibit was indeed marked, but it was marked under Article 2, Your Honor, not Article 4.
We confirm, Your Honor. Nevertheless, we maintain that this document has been marked during the pre-trial conference, Your Honor.
Duly noted.
Mr. Witness,
Ito yung copy. It's the same. May USB. May USB. Is this part of the mark? Oh, this is part of the mark. Just an additional comment, Your Honor.
Counsel may proceed.
It appears that the two documents are not the same in that the marked documents contains a page and attached thereto is an USB. However, the copy of Director Matibag does not contain that page, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, counsel.
It appears, Your Honor, that the two documents are not the same.
What two documents are you referring to?
The marked exhibit and the set of documents from Director Matibag. With all due respect, Your Honor, the copy that was marked contains a page with annexes, including a USB, and such page does not appear in the copy provided by Director Matibag.
So the copy of Director Matibag does not contain a page with an attached USB.
That's correct, Your Honor. It's incomplete.
Does counsel for the prosecutors, assisting counsel for the prosecutors, or lead counsel confirm that? For the record?
we confirm, Your Honor. Nevertheless, the representation of the witness is that the copy is his own copy and does not pertain to the copy of the prosecution. And we will be willing, Your Honor, to use the pre-marked copy for the purpose of confirmation of the witness, Your Honor.
If you have it with you, counsel, why not just use that copy?
Yes, Your Honor.
So that we can go directly to it, unless there are any reservations from the
We are
counsel
okay, Your Honor. Your Honor, if I may be recognized. We are okay with confronting the witness with his own copy, Your Honor. But again, we manifest that it was not the document that was marked and it does not contain the USB. Moreover, just an additional manifestation. The marked copy or marked set contains a stamp certified true copy, but it was not signed by anyone and there was no date provided.
Duly noted. Again, this without prejudice to the counsel for the prosecutor, furnishing counsel for respondent with a copy of the exact document produced by Director Matibag for further comparison and or observation either during cross or future proceedings later on.
We submit, Your Honor.
Your Honor, just a correction. There was a stamp, Your Honor, and a signature, but there was no name. Just for the record, Your Honor.
Duly noted for the record.
With the permission of the court, we'll be using the pre-marked document, Your Honor, for the purpose of confirmation.
Likewise, for the information of the counsel for respondent, would that be okay?
Then we take exception to that, Your Honor, because it was not the one that was identified by the witness in open court. What he identified was his own copy, and that copy does not contain any USB. So he does not have. He will be incompetent to testify on a pre-marked exhibit that he did not submit or participate in.
The exhibits can be later on compared to with a certified true copy at a later date, as has been previously done by the parties. In the meantime, The chair will allow the witness to use his copy without prejudice to any differences that may be shown either through cross or through the comparison after a copy shall have been furnished to the counsel for respondents.
Continuing objection, Your Honor.
So ordered.